embraced us with open arms. There was a lot of tears in the audience. They were very moved.
The second night in Cali, I got the privilege to meet a woman who, through my very little Spanish knowledge, I'm from Iceland, I understood that she was a mother and was looking for her child for many years. And she was sitting in the front row with her cheeks wet from tears and just took my hand and thanked me and looked deep into my eyes, and it's the biggest payment that you could ever get from doing a performance.
Memory is so important in the process of healing. Why do you think it is important to talk about disappeared people after all these years?
We say this in the show, actually. Literally, we say, digging the past, we build the future. We have to tell these stories constantly. It's like we need to do marketing to these terrible things instead of like hiding them under the rug or under a pile of dirt, literally. We need to keep telling people about all these violence and all this pain, because the more people know, the less likely it is to happen again. A people with memory is democracy forever. We saw that in a graffiti in a wall, and then we add that to the performance. And it's really important to talk about the disappeared because we are talking through the eyes of the victims, giving voice for those who disappeared.
The cast and director of Rewind talking to reporter Constanza Ola. Their next performances will be in the UK in 2023. Loss and disappearance have been topics across much of Hicham Matar's work. The Pulitzer Prize-winning writer has been inspired by his own life experiences after his own father was kidnapped in Egypt by Colonel Gaddafi's regime, taken back to Libya and never seen again. Hicham shares his Art That Changed Me, a film from a director who's influenced his thinking as an author, the French filmmaker Robert Bresson, and in particular Bresson's 1959 film Pickpocket. The film centres on a young man who develops a hobby as a pickpocket and finds himself unable to quit before it's too late.
In a way, the film is both about us observing what a pickpocket is doing, but also observing a man, any man, master a skill. But it seems to be not about what it is explicitly about. It's actually not about pickpocketing at all. It's about how to extract something from a complete stranger without them noticing it. Why the film is important to me. It's important to me on its artistic merit. I learn things from it, from what it's done, its structure, its simplicity, the fact that the declared event, in this case pickpocketing, is only a cover story for something much deeper and something that actually doesn't exist in language. It can't be defined.
Je sais que vous me soupçonnez. Si vous croyez avoir le droit de m'arrêter, arrêtez-moi.
Je vous ai laissé bien tranquille, au contraire.
I'm very much drawn to the fact that his territories are transient territories. They're impermanent places. They're a train station, a pavement. And he's waiting for a fleeting opportunity that he could capitalize on. And in a sense, the space that I occupy in my work is a space that is always to me feels fleeting. So when I have the appetite or the temptation to write something, I know that it's not going to remain fixed. I can't come back to it in a week's time. It will be something else. So even though I'm sitting in a chair in the same room, writing on the same table, the territory seems also transient. I am inspired by the film, but I'm much more inspired by the work of Bresson, the filmmaker. Because in all of his films, as different as they can be from one another, they share this character of someone who's involved in a very simple dilemma or task the motivations and the prospects of which aren't clear, they're usually about much more than just what they seem about. And The Pickpocket is an excellent example of that. The film got under my skin because I don't understand it. And I keep watching it because I still don't understand it.
Est-ce qu'on ne peut pas imaginer des vols sur lesquels on fermerait les yeux? J'ai toute une théorie là-dessus.
Moi?
I have seen The Pickpocket, I think for the first time about 15 years ago, and I've been seeing it regularly since. I don't know, maybe in this time I've seen it somewhere between 7 and 10 times. It seems to be about how do I extract something without being noticed. So this is why I think Bresson is really a great artist, because he manages to take very, very, very limited elements and create something quite profound out of them. I think every artist is on some level awake to this quality, because everything that you're doing as a writer, there is nothing that I can bring to the page that I haven't learned from others and from the world and from the experience of living. Everything is borrowed, everything is stolen on some level. But I think our pickpocket here is not just picking pockets. Our pickpocket is wondering what he can get from people.
Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Hisham Matar. And for more arts and culture on the BBC World Service, catch the Arts Hour with Nikki Beatty. This week, Nikki hears from movie stars Will Ferrell and Paul Mescal. That's it for this week's programme. But our global artists are always available on our podcast. Just search for The Cultural Frontline via your favourite podcast app and subscribe. We'll be here same time next week with more stories of artists changing the world and the way we see it. Until then, goodbye.
This is the BBC World Service, where David Baker finds out what it might be like to live in space.
200 million kilometers away, the next planet in our solar system feels impossibly distant. But we've already landed robotic crafts on its surface, and in the not too distant future, we'll be building human settlements there.
There are places in space that could be extremely sought after, and in those places we could imagine the potential for conflict and disagreements.
In this program, I'm going to be asking what human settlements in space will be like, who will be living in them, and how they'll be organized.
Everybody thinks, ignore for the time being the sociological issues. We have to start now. We have to think of a solution that is good for the entire human race, not just for one country.
Living in space at bbcworldservice.com/documentaries.
This is the BBC World Service with stories of being young and Indian in the 21st century.
I'm not
doing anything wrong. Why should I be scared? I'm clear that I'm not against any religion or person. I'm only against those who cause harm in the name of religion.
Join me, Kalki Kekla, after the news as I tell you the story of Suyash Toshniwal, a rationalist who wants to champion every human being's ability to think and question.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Peru's new president, Dina Boluarte, says she'll ask Congress to call for general elections 2 years ahead of schedule in April 2024. Protests by supporters of the ousted left-wing President Pedro Castillo have left at least 2 people dead. Iran has carried out a second public execution linked to the nearly 3 months of anti-government protests. Majid Reza Rahnavad was convicted of killing 2 members of the security forces. China is deactivating a mobile phone app that tracked people's movement during the pandemic. It's the latest policy change that shows Beijing is abandoning its zero-COVID strategy. Prosecutors in Greece have frozen all assets of a Greek member of the European Parliament, Eva Kaili. She's been arrested in Belgium accused of corruption. Ms. Kaili was allegedly caught with bags of cash at her home. A teenage girl has been killed during clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police in the occupied West Bank. A Palestinian news agency said Israeli officers shot her in the head. Israel's army said it was looking into the incident. The European Union's foreign policy chief Josep Borrell has said ethnic Serbs and Albanians in Kosovo have to overcome what he called this tendency to fighting in the street. Serb protesters have blocked roads, angry at the arrest of a local policeman and at new laws which force them to drive with Kosovan number plates. Zambian police will increase checks of vehicles at the country's borders following the discovery of the bodies of 27 Ethiopian migrants. They were found on the outskirts of Lusaka. And Twitter is relaunching its paid-for verification service today. It will give subscribers a blue tick badge on their profile for a monthly fee. BBC News.
Hello, I'm Kalki Kekla, and this is Kalki Presents My Indian Life from the BBC World Service. It was something that always puzzled me.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from Sendwave. Sendwave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With Sendwave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. And the best part is, Sendwave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use Sendwave? Sendwave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina. every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Broadcasting live online. Turn it on.
Turn it up.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harrison, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it
This
up?
is Starr Radio UK.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's a Starr Radio UK and the morning show.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr UK. Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
welcome you to the Monday edition of the morning show. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planet as well. We want to say massive welcome to a new week. Today is the 12th of the 12th of the year 2022. So the 12th of December, the year 2022. With the time now, 10:43 from the hearts of London. Let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi HRH Linda Pallien, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. To Mr. Frank Davids, also working behind the scenes. Good morning to you. Playing in the background, something from the Christmas part of Ghana as well. But don't you worry, I'm going to bring you a mixture of tunes all pertaining to the festive mood that people find themselves in, or I want to put you in. But I hope that Nigeria didn't happen to you, as we say on this platform. And whatever it is, whatever you went through, you are still alive, well and kicking. And thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for sharing the broadcast as well. Let me say good morning to my bishop, Mr. Bishop Adeshina, wherever you are. Massive good morning to you. Sir Moses, good morning. Anthony Adedeji, good morning. Aziz, Miss Gold, and all you wonderful people who tuned in to listen to us wherever you are across the globe. I salute each and every one of you. All protocol observed. And for those of you who have tuned in for the first time, on Monday, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quotes for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. Then from there, we'll continue to look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. After that, we'll continue to look at, to bring you some nice tune, some Christmas tune there as well. But then after that, exactly at 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki, the White Lion himself, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Then after that, we continue. The lines will be open at 12 o'clock, and then we'll continue to have a look at some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. This will continue till 12:30, when we bring the first part of the program to a close to take you to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Pallien is to bring you Career 101. So in a nutshell, that's what's going to be happening today. Welcome to the show, and welcome on board. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Our presenters on Starr Radio UK, I salute you. Mr. Dave West, I hope you are doing very well. Regards to you and your lovely wife, Jenny. Okie-dokie-do, let's crack on. The quote for the day says, it is often easier to keep doing things the old way than it is to change. Change takes time and effort, but good changes are worth it in the long run. So keep on holding on, working at it. Someday, somehow, it's going to take along nicely. All right, now let's move on to the weather front. After church yesterday, we were on an outing. Let me put it that way. We came home. It was when I went where the car was parked. I saw that there was a bit of snow, but we thought that the snow was supposed to come today. But hey, it did come yesterday night. For those of us, or yesterday evening, call it whatever. And then so when it comes to your travels, I'm going to tell you more about what is happening here, the cancellations and stuff like that. But well, for London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. This afternoon, we'll see the mist and fog lift in places to reveal some brightness. However, there may be a few lingering patches through the day. Small chance of a wintry flurry, and it's going to be cold as well. Tonight, there will be a mix of variable cloud and clear spells. An isolated wintry shower remains possible, but any of these will be few and far between. Another chilly night expected. Top temperature 3 degrees, the lowest -3 degrees. UV level low, pollution low, sunset 15:51, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:57 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10:48. A quick break, and I bring you the travel updates.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. I promise I'm on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:49 or 10:48. Teetering towards 10:49. Now on the underground this morning, let me just zoom through it quickly. Now Bakerloo line has got severe and minor delays to check before you leave. Central line severe delays. Second line severe delays. District line minor delays. Hammersmith and City severe delays. Jubilee severe delays, and Metropolitan line minor delays there. Victoria line has also got minor delays. Northern line is partly suspended and it's got severe delays. So please, as I said, check before you leave. But moving on straight to the Northern, the London Overground. My apologies. Yeah, it's partly suspended and it's got severe delays there as well. And it's all pertaining to this snow that fell overnight. That aside, all the others have got good service there. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. Also keep you navigated. Coming to the major roads in London. Yes, A20, A24, A4, Central London Red Routes, and South Circular A205 have all got closures. So please check before you leave. And the B roads, the back roads as well, it's not been graded. So most of them, so today I had to take my mode of transport. But so if you are traveling via those ones, please check before you leave. Okay, so moving on straight to the river bus. The Woolwich Ferry has got special service as usual from Monday the 28th of November. That's past but Woolwich Ferry service will start later this morning than usual. Starting time is 7 hours due to crew availability there. Now when it comes to the London cable car, yes, snowy, but yes, good service there as well. On the National Rail, the final segment of the travel update, Avanti West Coast, Cross Country, First Transparent Express, Gatwick Express, Great Northern, London North Eastern Railway, Northern Rail, Scott Rail, which one? Southern, Transport for Wales have all got minor delays. Thameslink has also got minor delays. That aside, Southeastern, Southwestern Railway, Greater Anglia, and East Midlands Railway have all got severe delays. So please check before you leave. Whatever it is, check before you leave. Well, so on that note, as you know that I will say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Well, we have a lot. Well, when it comes to the updates from Nigeria, some of the topics that we'll be looking at, or the stories that we're going to be looking at, Christian groups furious at blinking for removing Nigeria from religious violence lists. Well, we'll be talking more about that. Has the religious atrocity that's going on in Nigeria, in the north especially, has it stopped? Well, but Blinken decides that, well, let's take them off that list, that they are treating them good. Is it because of Buhari trying to influence them? What is happening? Or because well, I'll be telling you more about that in a moment. APC is trying to get Rufai Oseni and Dr. Rubin Abati sacked by Arise TV. However, the media group has released a statement telling the APC that will never happen. These are some of the stories there as well. And then the deputy managing director and co-founder of the Vetiva Capital Management, Olayomi Madisiru, has reportedly died after being hit by a yet-to-be-identified driver. So hit and run. What is that? Wow. We're going to bring you more about that. The troops of Nigerian Army have reportedly invaded Obiegu community in Ishelu local government area of Ebonyi State. Looking for what? Well, we're going to be telling you more about that when we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on the show. But wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So in Nigeria, how will resolve IPOB agitation? Atiko has put some statements there. And IPOB youth wing warns Simon Ekpa over sit-at-home order dares him to step into Biafra land. Wow, that's a serious one. Well, Simon Ekpa has been one of the ones who have been commenting when I think we've had Mr. Olayomi Koiki has had him on the show before, but we'll dive in deeper into that story as well. Why are they threatening him? Okay, now moving on straight to some other stories making a run. Biden to reboot ties with African during the U.S. African Leaders Summit. That is going to be taking place. Biden's 3-day summit will feature announcement of new U.S. investment and highlight food security worsened by the invasion of Ukraine. And then DRC, Tshisekedi vows to hold elections, denounces Rwanda's expansionist intentions. Well, and the resident of Soweto settlement divided on Ramaphosa's future. We know the story about Ramaphosa that we did talk about last week, but well, what's going to happen to him? We'll be telling you more about that. 139 people released from prison after deadly protests in Chad. More going to be coming your way. Okay, and then in Ghana, debt exchange, government's promise of no haircut, a mockery. Togbe Afedi, who is a financial expert, is saying, well, I don't know whether now Ghana has been turning to a barbering shop or something. No haircut. But well, it seems to be that they said no haircut, but when you go, they give you Sakura. What about that? Alright then, so more will be coming your way from that front, but it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In other parts of the world as well, very, very worrisome. EU reacts to corruption charges. Now, Watchdog says it could be one of the biggest corruption scandals in the European Parliament's history. My goodness. Well, does that mean that we need to leave the EU? Not us. I know that the UK, we've left the EU already. But should the EU break down or split? Shooting on 3 women at cafe shocks Italy. A friend of Italian Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni is among 3 women killed in Sunday's attack. And Iran carries out new execution linked to protests. Majreza Rahanavad is hanged days after the first execution, which was widely condemned. Well, so they say that they are all hearkening to what the West are saying, being incited by them, and they're going on that rampage. And therefore, the only way to do it is to say that, well, give a dog a bad name. You have wronged God, whatever, and then pew, then they hang you. All right then. The secret diaries of a woman protesting in Iran. Well, it's quite an interesting one. And Ukraine hit Wagner headquarters in weekend of fight. Kyiv forces hit a hotel used by the Russian mercenary group, a Ukrainian official has said. They beat my son for refusing to fight in Ukraine. Russian troops have reportedly been locked up for refusing to fight in the invasion of Ukraine. But I have a picture before me. It's not been authenticated as to whether it's a stage one or not. That one I can't tell. But well, those are some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Now, children critical as search of icy lake continues. 4 were taken to hospital, but police have not yet confirmed if 2 others are still missing. There are some of stories making the rounds there. Emergency meeting to be held for strikes contingency plans, and fewer than 100 migrants arrested under new UK law. The government changed the law in June in a bid to deter migrants from crossing the channel. There are some of the stories making the rounds there. 4 still missing after floods blast kills 5. A search on and recovery operation entered its 3rd day after a huge explosion in Jersey. And dozens spent night in a pub amid heavy snow. The Bear Inn near Bearwash threw its doors to those stranded and needing shelter for the night. Well, that's a good one on them. But well, this all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We're going to be taking a musical break, and once we come back, I'll be bringing you the one and only White Lion himself, Mr. Olayomi HRH, on the updates from Nigeria. So stay tuned, don't you go away.
And so this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, and a new one's just begun. And so this is Christmas. I hope you have fun. The near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear.
Oh, this is Starr Radio UK.
In your car, at home,
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And so happy Christmas for black and for white, for Maria hero. They haremos de luchar. Así. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
This is Starr Radio. Starr Radio UK.
Without any fear.
And so this is Christmas, yeah. Tell me, what have we done? Why?
Another year over,
And the new one just begun.
and so happy Christmas.
We hope you have fun. The near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one. Hope it's a good one. Without any fear. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one. Without any fear.
This is Starr Radio.
Very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear.
Hi guys, this this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And let me say good morning to my brother Felix, all the way in Aberdeen. I hope you are doing very, very rough. It's been quite some time now since I heard from you, but I hope you are doing very, very well. And happy Christmas in advance. Yes, I know you don't like doing stuff like that, but I hope you are doing good. All right then. Now, to every one of you who've tuned in to listen to us, I salute each and every one of you, whichever is your patronage, and we will be bringing you Mr. Olayomi HRH in a moment. Yes, like I said earlier on, to all the presenters on Starr Radio UK, we salute you. We salute you. Mr. Dave West, good morning to you. KB Bossman, Vicky Newton, Nana Fiasawara Koto, Empress Regina Enima. Good morning to you all, and I hope you're all doing very good. But it is my singular honor to introduce you the White Lion himself after a very let me call it a long weekend. A day is very long to us, so when we have a weekend, we say that it's a long one. But Yomi, massive good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world. Good morning to all our other presenters, the sound engineer, and welcome once again to Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes. How are you, and how has the weather affected your movement today?
Well, yesterday was just one of those beautiful days that the children love when they see, the weather. And just as you were mentioning the weather, this is what it looks like, last night at the back of the house. And that means, again, I have to make sure that the heating continue to operate non-stop. It's been a long time that we've seen, such a view, depending on whether you're driving, and I can see that you are well packed, in your own body right there in the studio. But I can say that the weather does not stop us from moving. We continue, the children still need to go to school. And that is what means that we don't rely on prayer to make sure that the roads are well, properly. Even though we know the M25, some of the images I saw yesterday, must get them caught up. But I'm sure by this morning, those driving through the M25 will be driving, in a very safe road network. But compared to Nigeria, where yesterday again and also yesterday and Saturday, when you look at some of the road network coming out of Nigeria, especially in Ondo State, where you have bitumen that is the largest deposit in the world, but yet all the road network continue to be waiting for prayer from our government to fix them.
Well, we will pray, but God has given us everything that we need, and yet we are so poor. We are not using it. What do you think? Well, listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you the morning show updates from Nigeria. But let me acknowledge Oluola. Yes, it says, good morning. How is everybody? Everyone is doing very well, and end Nigeria, save lives. And then he says, good morning, Koiki. Now, Prince Abimbola, massive good morning to you, so Mr. Archie, and White Lion, good morning as well. The listeners, he says, Happy New Week. And Olola says, hello, Archie. Yes, hello, Olola. Thanks for joining us once again. But it is updates from Nigeria, and let's crack on. Now, we have Blinken. A few weeks ago, we had the Americans saying that, well, there were some insecurity issues that were going on. They didn't link it to whether it was a religious one, but they were saying there were some insecurities in the country. They labeled the federal capital as a particular place where there was imminent attack. They predicting that there was going to be an imminent attack. Well, we know the authorities came to, say that that wasn't true, blah, blah, blah. So far, so good. We've not heard anything of the sort. But things that happen in the north, especially when it comes to Christians or religion in the north, we see that there is always that side of the Sharia that is trying to overrule everything that people are doing, and therefore we see various attacks in the north. I don't want to be talking too much, but recently when that lady, one of the students, made a remarks in the north, she was stoned to death because they said because of the Sharia law or whatever went on in the campus. But for Blinken, the Americans, to come now to say that they've taken Nigeria from that list makes it quite worrying, because we've not seen any improvement. Is it because Buhari has had a word with them, or what? Yomi.
Well, and that is the Deborah Yakubu. She was actually lynched and burned to death, right in Sokoto, on the 12th of May this year. Her death sparked quite a little bit of concern again to the injustice that have been patel on not just the Christians, also Muslims in Nigeria. I mean, when the story of Deborah came, and in as much as Atiku was interviewed yesterday, just to branch into that, because Atiku actually put a post on the Twitter as at the time and removed that tweet as well. People were a little bit worried that what was the reason behind that. Atiku condemns the killing of the young Deborah Samuel for alleged blaspheming. And yesterday, the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, condemned again the murder of Deborah Samuel, a young student of Shehu Shagari College of Education. Also, do you know that the young boy that we were actually also protecting here on the studio for speaking against the wife of President
Buhari,
do you also know that he was putting on an outfit that says nobody should protest against the killing of Deborah?
Oh, wow.
And this is the kind of society that we actually found ourselves. There is no unity, there is no love, and that's the young boy right there. He was actually captured in a tweet that had an outfit that says, the killing of Deborah, nobody should protest against that. So that means he was probably happy with the death of an innocent young girl. Now, the question this morning that you've asked is, pertaining to what has been picked up. As we know, within the next 24 hours, Buhari has left to the United States of America yesterday. A lot of African leaders will be in America for what we call the U.S. African Leaders Summit. It's a way for the American government to reassure, the Africa and some of the values, which I discussed this morning when I was actually having an address to some of our listeners. The U.S. African Leaders Summit is expecting to, rebuild on the shared value, foster new economic engagement, advance peace and security and good governance, reinforce commitment to democracy, human rights, civil society. I don't know whether you have human rights in Ghana, but there's nothing of such in Nigeria. Civil society is not there. Democracy is not there. Work collaborative to strengthen the region and global health security. Promote food security, which is a bit of concern to a lot of Nigerians today because of the insecurity that will link me back to the story that we're actually talking about. Respond to the climate crisis. Amplify the diaspora tie. Morocco and Nigeria is the biggest remittant back to Africa, which again, Morocco, during their celebration did not talk about Africa. They actually was more of talking about, this qualification for the Arabs. So, and again, one of their, footballer came back to say, oh, I forgot that we're Africa, so that means, again, this qualification is for Africa. Promote education and youth. And Nigeria students were out of school for 8 months. So I was actually looking at Linda Edward. Linda Edward is a social justice reporter, based, in New York. And, since the American government would also be expecting a lot of African leaders, and most important, like they said, the most populous black nation in Africa, Nigeria. It now says, the U.S. African Summit, Nigerian persecution of religious minority to debate. Years ago, Bush was anger, the baptism watchdog by removing Iraq from the list as Iraq Christians were murdered daily. Conservative Hudson Institute, Great Nina Shed confronted Bush. But what we are now saying now is, Blinken, the American government, have actually said Christian groups are now furious that the Nigerians have been removed from one of those countries that is against, these religious violence. Do we now say that Nigeria is no longer a country to be worried about when it comes to religious violence? But like we talked about earlier, just less than some few months ago, the young Deborah was literally not just lynched, she was burned, and we could see somebody with a machete saying, saying that they're happy, for burning out, even though she was, pleading for her life. So Christian groups in the United States of America have now, Christian groups, a U.S. government panel, and a former senior U.S. diplomat are very furious over the Secretary of State, a very important person in the American government, Joe Biden, Anthony Blinken, decision to take Nigeria off a list of countries accused of engaging in or tolerating religious persecution. Blinken's decision was actually revealed only last week, just before he visited Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, which a lot of people have disagreed with that anyway, and where Muslim-Christian tensions have long fled. According to the State Department official, have given no reason for the move other than saying Blinken, upon the advice of various department sections, decided Nigeria didn't meet the legal threshold to be named as a country of particular concern. Starr Radio UK, it is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. From here in the studio in London, let me come back again to you, back in the studio on the other side.
Well, this particular decision by the US will have some reprisal effect on a lot of things that is going on in Nigeria at the moment. I'm not going to, I'm not digressing, but I'm looking at the situation. I'm looking at what the Yorubas are saying. I'm looking at what those in the Southeast are saying. So that with everything that is going on, now we all saw what was happening in the North pertaining to religious atrocities that was going on. We saw the death of Deborah as well, which is quite fresh. And now that the US are saying, oh, with all that is going on, look, it's okay, nothing has happened. Yeah, the NSAS one and everything. They say that the rate at which things are happening have not gone into a point where Nigeria should still be placed in that position where we say that, well, there is religious intolerance there. I mean, atrocities that have been emitted to, groups in the country. I mean, so how do you think this is going to impact the Yoruba agitation, and then the IPOP agitation, or the Biafra agitation as well?
Well, yes, you're quite right, and a lot of the indigenous people, and as I was addressing the United States government this morning in a 1-hour broadcast, giving them the background, to some of the issues, that was faced, during the Soviet Union, during the Yugoslavia, where, as at the time there was more of the ethnic tension. The problem in Nigeria has nothing to do with religious, tension.
Mm-hmm.
What we are saying is, the indigenous people that are not being given the same equal rights, as we know presently, in Nigeria. And the Islamization of Nigeria is still an agenda that a lot of individuals have talked about, which I was able to play in that video. And when we look at these all issues, I'm just going back to persecution in Nigeria in the last 3 weeks. Bishop gives harrowing report on religious persecution. This is one of the headlines 3 weeks ago. Stop killing Christians. Biden admit it with massive, petition, with Christian persecution raging in Nigeria. More than 33,000 people have signed a petition imploring Joe Biden government that have actually now removed Nigeria from that, line of a country of concern. Nigeria Muslims rally to protect persecution of the Shias, which is another area. Again, 3 weeks ago, address Christian persecution lest Nigeria is overrun. So let's take a look at what one of the bishops was actually saying. The Most Reverend Jude Arogundade of the Catholic Bishop of Ondo State. Let us remember that it was a very terrible one when the killings of innocent Christians. They were not literally just Yorubas. There were different groups of people. We have the Igbo and the other that were in that particular church during that massacre in Ondo State. But this is what he said November 17, according to the report here. The bishop gave the following keynote address entitled "The Ongoing Ethno-Religious Persecution in Nigeria. Scale the barriers of defining silence" in the House of Parliament yesterday at the launch of Aid to Nigeria, Aid to the Church in Need, the last report. On the Pentecost Sunday of June 5, 2022, St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, joined the list of churches in Nigeria that have been viciously attacked by the terrorist Fulanis, whose bloody carnage has increased in the past year. Why has the U.S. government, at this particular junction where the indigenous people are calling for the dissolution of Nigeria, while those that still believe in Nigeria, is there something that we don't know? And this is where the Christian group in America again are saying this is a wrong move, and there's now critics, however, are calling Blinken move politically designed to appease an important African partner. One former diplomat called it the revenge of bureaucracy at the State Department. Other question how it fits with the Biden administration claim that human rights lies at the center of his foreign policy.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Was it how many? I think sometime last week when we had the DSS, the boss of the DSS, saying that they're not going to be tolerating any human rights thing, blah blah blah. I think we all remember that story. But well, we'll be coming to that. Oluola says that, well, you know what? He says whatever has happened is because of money. Some people have gone to take some money and might have written some nice report to say that everything is fine, and that is what is causing that. Now Ruth says that, good morning, Mr. Koiki, lots of hearts, and thumbs up to you, and dance. Oh, okay. Now Moyiwa says, good morning, Mr. Archie and Koiki and everyone on the platform as well. Oluola says the North has now got oil, so let us all go our separate ways. So if there's the fear was that, look, if the those in the South decide to go, they will not have oil to maybe fund their wealth or whatever, their lifestyle. He said, well, now the North seem to have got oil, so let them use that oil there and let everybody go their separate ways. But what do you think? We want to have a take on what you think. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now moving on to some other stories making the rounds. APC is trying to get Rufai Osheni and Dr. Ruben Abati sacked by Arise TV. However, the media group has released a statement telling the APC that they will never, or that will never happen. Now, Rufai Osheni, I thought it was, when I saw it at first, I thought it was El Rufai, so I said, is El Rufai doing some presentation work now? But it's not El Rufai, it's Rufai, different one. All right, now can you give us a background to that story, please?
Rufai is one of the presenters on one of the mainstream media back in Nigeria. I remember, the APC Bola Tinubu campaign team were not happy with so many of the medias in Nigeria, like somebody like him that is very, very bold and outspoken. So what they've done is they've literally gone behind to tell the owner of Arise TV that we can mention because already in the public domain, to sack Rufai and Ruben Abati. Imagine this is the same government. Government that they've that is in power, and also a new one that is campaigning. And imagine if Tinubu becomes the president. Only God knows what would be freedom of speech in Nigeria. We thought Buhari was a very terrible one, by banning Twitter, and just as you say, and there was a response back to the DG of the DSS. You are not above the law. Ruler kicks after the Nigerian Secret Police DSS boss knock human rights advocacy. But the question is, what could have warranted, Alake and Ononuga to go quietly behind the scene to try to tell the owner of this TV station to remove these two individuals, because they are not happy with some of their, conversation around the Tinubu campaign. So the This Day and Arise News Board of Editors stated this in a joint statement titled Tinubu and This Day Arise Media Group and the Attack on Free Speech. They are also noted out of envy and pettiness the continuous attack on the chairman and editor-in-chief Prince Induka by both Alake and Ononuga. The editors pointed out that in at least 4 separate press statements and interviews in the last 3 weeks, Ononuga and Alake, instead of responding to issues or sending petitions to the organization, ombudsman, have variously accused the group of bias against the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they are wrong. Truth and pursuit thereof and their reporting of fact is no basis. The duo has taken unprofessionalism, recklessness, politics, and blackmail to a new art form. After the first statement, we ignore them, but utter a second statement, which again ignore. So you can tell that Tinubu campaign team are probably, now trying to gag, some of the medias against, the will of, the ethics of journalism.
Well, if you criticize them, they will come and find you and make sure that you are sacked. But is that the way forward? Let's call it freedom. Well, you have to be, if you want to go into this political whatever arena to make your move or make a stand, then you have to be prepared for criticism, because that comes. Everybody has got a say, because that is democracy, isn't it? But when we talk about democracy in this part of the world, it's different from what we see in our part of the world, because somebody who has got power thinks that they can wield their power over you, and the courts and it cannot give you the justice that you want. So what do we do? Well, if the court gives justice and authorities listen to it, we won't have Nnamdi Kanu still being in incarceration, and we won't have Chief Sunday Igboho still being outside after the court has ruled that even his edifice should be, they should pay for the destruction that they caused there. But what do you think? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11:29 the time, almost 11:30, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let's look at one other story, and then I can leave the whole thing for Ms. Olayomi Koiki to do the presentation of the rest of the story. Troops of the Nigerian Army have reportedly invaded a Bigo community in Ishelu, local government area of Ebonyi. Now, why have they invaded? Are they going after, first of all, where is Ebonyi, for the sake of those who don't know where Nigeria well, and then who are they going after there?
Well, when you look at the map behind me, Ebonyi is just part of the southeast of Nigeria, and yes, we know that there's a sit-at-home that has been going on since Friday, but it seems that prior before that, the military, in disguise of looking for the unknown gunmen or the innocent Igbo people that are campaigning for their right to self-determination, rather than looking for the terrorist Fulanis that are killing and massacring so many communities around the southeast and likewise the southwest. Panic as the Nigerian soldiers have invaded the Ebonyi community, burned houses, and also different atrocity that is going on. The Nigerian army have reportedly invaded Ogbagu community in a local government area of Ebonyi State. Some of the community leaders who spoke this morning said the troops who invaded the community around 5 a.m. Had been shooting periodically and also burned some houses. The soldiers were said to have entered the community with 10 Hilux bus vehicles, which is their mode of transportation, and also 7 armor tanks with over 100 military personnel. It was not clear why the military invaded the community. However, nobody, the question then is the southeast part of Nigeria at war, with the Nigerian government? Literally not, but it seems that the Nigerian government is using all its resources to continue to not just oppress, also genocide going on in that particular region. And their governors are not doing as much as saying out a lot. Neither are the House of Representatives and their senators as well. So it seems that the whole idea is, since Nnamdi Kanu has been kept in the custody of the DSS since last year, almost a year ago, when he was renditioned and kidnapped back to Nigeria, he has been acquitted. And just as yesterday, I saw the former president Olusegun Obasanjo and the leader of the Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Afenifere, were all in Enugu, where the death of Iwobodo, and they were also still talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So there's a tension, there's no doubt about that, in the southeast part of Nigeria today. But is it going with the military, to continue, to create this havoc, will solve the problem? These are some of the questions I did put out to the U.S. government as this summit goes out tomorrow, that the situation in Nigeria needs a lot of dialogue, and it should not be left without being looked into before chaos, anarchy, uncivil rest continue in Nigeria, should the international community shy away from the reality on the ground.
Now, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now, Yomi, The 3-day sit at home that has gone on, what has been the impact so far? Do you know?
Well, it's been both sides. Some have actually defied it, and continue to go around, their businesses. We've seen, where it has become a little bit tense, where the situation is, why should we sit at home, and we'll give that order, because some disregard that order that is actually coming, from, Nnamdi Kanu himself, even though the spokesman for the, IPOB, believe that that is part of the way to bring in civil disobedience, by not confronting the Nigerian government, but by sitting at home. But let us remember that as a country, this is where people feed on a daily basis. But at some point, according to the IPOB and the Biafrans believe that since they haven't got what it takes to to engage the Nigerian government, they can also use the civil disobedience to bring the attention of not just the Nigerian government, to come into what their demands are, for an exit out of Nigeria. And moreover, if the part of Nigeria does not believe in the southeast, then there's no need for them to continue. That is still one section. By the time the Yorubas are coming out, which we have been told that it's going to be not just a day or 2 days, we would then see part of what we are not really seeing in the southeast being talked about. Because when it comes to the southwest, remember that Lagos State is a hub, and should the question I asked yesterday, what would happen should less movement paralyze of the whole Lagos State to Ogun State, which is one of the industrial hub in the southwest, going to Oyo State? What should happen 72 hours if there's not such movement in the southwest? What will be the reaction of the government then?
It's going to be an interesting one if that happens, because loads of monies will be lost in a day. To talk less than 3 days. But it is Starr Radio UK. Olola says that is why Tinubu's role in Nigeria is shameful. That means talking about his party going to tell Arise TV to sack these 2 journalists there because they are speaking against him or critiquing him. Now, Aziz Badazaric says, good morning, Brother Koiki, the ambassador, and good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Well done to you, Aziz, and thank you very much for joining us. But it is Starr Radio UK, 11:35 the time. Updates from Nigeria. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. As we continue, to experience, that plate of cold, that have dropped on us here in UK, we continue to also tell our elderly ones, especially here in the United Kingdom and other countries where snow is now, falling, to keep the house warm, especially for those that have children and as well. World Cup, Buhari hails Morocco for qualifying. Anti-corruption group advocate for life imprisonment as well. Brain drain as 140 medical personnel resign at Babcock Teaching Hospital. That is a staggering amount of number there. The Director of Clinical Services and Training of Babcock University Teaching Hospital, Ilesan in Remo, in Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria today, Dr. Titus Oyedele has expressed concern over the issue of brain drain in Nigeria, saying already about 50 of his doctors, 90 of his nurses have resigned to seek greener pasture abroad. Oyedele, who disclosed this over the weekend while talking journalists on a tour of the institution facility, blamed the issue of brain drain, popularly known as JAPA, on leadership failure and having people in position who do not believe in the healthcare system, like President Muhammadu Buhari, that half of his time, in this particular last couple of days, to his government coming out of existence of the power that they've grabbed in 2015, that they wanted to, he has not spent a day looking after himself in Nigeria. Most of the time, he's here in the United Kingdom, taking care of himself. So let's go back to one or two more headlines. Today is the 12th of December 2022 at 11:37 time spent so far. After that, we'll take straight to the social media as well. Soludo, we are moving to secure Anambra people during this Christmas. Peter B was in Ibadan to visit Olubadan to get the royal endorsement as well. Don't be carried away by rallies. Okoti warns Nigeria. It seems that a political party rally is where people think that they can get a bread, they can get some, groundnut, or probably some 5,000, 1,000, depending on who you know in the rally center. And it seems it's the same people that visit the same Labour Party, or probably not. But those that visit APC will also be clamoring to go to APC or go to PDP rally as well. But according to as the political parties and their candidates embark on massive campaign activities for the 2023 interim government, campaigner Reverend Chris Okoti has warned Nigerians not to get carried away by the crowd they see at political rallies, saying this does not truly reflect the political realities in the country. Okoti, in a statement that was signed by his media advisor Ladi Ayodeji, said the presence of the mixed multitude at campaign rallies is no indication that a presidential candidate enjoys the support of the people. We do know most of them are being paid, to attend those rallies, just as they were paid when they were also bringing them as a Christian leaders to present it to Nigeria. And later on after that, people were already sharing money at the car park. He explained that some people attend this rally purely out of curiosity, to catch a glimpse of the political leaders or to be part of the action. Okoti, who is promoting his Aboriginal democracy agenda as an alternative on the current system of government, said crowd renting is mainly responsible for the crowd we see at rally, which is why sometimes the people are found at different rallies. Wow, that is Nigeria for you. Arise TV is trending, and the reason for that is it seems that Tinubu campaign team would like two of the journalists on that particular morning show to be taken out, so that would then also help them. Simon Ekpa seems to be the one trending throughout the whole weekend, from Friday up to right now at about 43,000. There's been a lot of report around him that his sit at home is something that the American government, the Finland government, and the world must look into, because it's actually creating a lot of insecurity in the Biafra land. But that is something that a lot of people disagree with. That is also showed that we can't show the video, but right in front of me it says, according to Simon Ekpa, why the Fulani Nigerian government terrorists have perfected their plan to play the Taliban template, which worked very well in Afghanistan. Someone Nigeria indecentists are busy trending Simon Ekpa on Twitter. We have defeated them in Biafra land, and in any place we hear that they invaded. And right there in that image video, we can show some Fulani terrorists with all sort of weapons right there as well. So that again, let's take some other ones. Tomorrow we will be engaging the Finland embassy in Nigeria and report Simon Ekpa. Many people died yesterday because of this tweet. Here is the Finland embassy in Abuja. I'm sure, like a lot of indigenous people will say, that the problem in Nigeria is not Simon Ekpa. The problem is the 1914 amalgamation that the British brought in together. Ifa Funshaw says, and I quote, in one of the tweet, as well as we would be going straight into our tweet this morning. As a man, you should not be thinking of boobs, and the other ones, you should be thinking of revolution or war. This is coming from him as well. The Northern Africans know their history better than the West African. I don't know why you will be dragging identity with those who identify themselves as Arabs, which again is the Morocco issue. Will you say the same thing to those white in the South Africa as Africans? Quite a lot in there to take in this morning. And the last one we're going to be looking at is Nigeria as a whole, as a lot is going on. David Odoye, they ask yourself why Induka, Origimo and BBC Africa were so invested in propagating what was such an obvious lie back in January. As we do know, David Odoye is an investigative journalist that is also had to run away from Nigeria for his own life being secure somewhere. Let's take a look at Neferati, one of the supporters of B. My people, we are voting Labour Party. Kawa, vote for Labour Party candidate across board. We are taking over Nigeria. Vote Labour Party from top to bottom. No time for nonsense. Peter Obi and David Baba. We all need the maximum support. And from the Yoruba as well, before we go, quite a lot of different engagement over the weekend from Akoko, where those that took the rally down to Ifo here in Ogun State, and so many engagement from some of our leaders as well, from the Global Directorate that actually held their 93rd Town Hall meeting that were actually looking into the Yoruba anthem and explanation. Also, one of our leaders, also Iba Gani Adams, currently in Brazil, continued the engagement. And this morning, the first call that came this morning was from our leader, all the way from Benin Republic, Professor Banji Akintoye, that was just a little bit concerned that he hasn't heard from me for a very long time, and he just wanted to say a very good morning. And I did catch up with him while he was having his breakfast. We spoke for about 5 or less minutes of that, and it was just again, let's continue the good work in promoting our right, peaceful right to self-determination. And that actually came, as the first caller on Monday morning to start the week, and from the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group to myself.
Wow, that was a good one. And we say that may God grant him more life and wisdom as well, because you want to lead things like that, you need the wisdom of God to do it. Okay, Ruth says Nigeria is 419 and dead. No more Nigeria. Lola says Yoruba has no plan. Wow. Well, someone who may differ with that, Lola. Maybe there's a plan there, but the leaders will tell you exactly what is going on that front. But it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Yomi, before you go, what was the weekend campaign for the various parties like?
Well, as I speak to you right now, Atiku have just arrived, in Nasarawa, where they continue, their campaign, to rescue Nigeria, from the APC. Tinubu campaign is not much. An article was also in Abuja over the weekend, so it seems he's been very, very busy. While Tinubu team are trying to remove some of the journalists on the mainstream media. The Labour Party, like I said, was actually in Ibadan, in Oyo State, where the Labour Party, Peter Obi, was also engaging there. So quite a lot of engagement continue to go on, but the Yorubas, a lot of them have continued to have run conversation on the last part of this month, where we've been told that the rally will be held. And just to pick up again, African Confidential on Twitter say, instead of Nigerians to worry about trying to save themselves from the shackles of Nigeria that they were kept in by the Britain, they want to save Nigeria for the people it was designed to benefit. Their politicians, they bond Nigerians out with their oppressor leaders, is just unbreakable.
Wow, listeners, Starr Radio UK. And I will plead with the leadership of the Yoruba nation as well to come up with a statement, because I say it all the time, when a vacuum is created, the speculations goes on, because Olula thinks that Baba Akintoye called Yomi because he defended him on the program yesterday. But that's why I'm saying that when there's a vacuum created, then people will just start speculating. Rumors will just start going around. Yomi, I thought that you wanted to respond to that.
Well, like I always say, everybody have the right, to what they like to say, and if that is the right that I was defending him, it is my job to defend an 87-year-old man that wants the identity of the Yoruba people to remain, as against the nepotism, the subjugation that the other political party like Tinubu that would like to take us into. So yes, it is our right to make sure we continue to defend such an elderly old man.
Okay, Daramola Amolade Olulade says, Ogao, yes. And then as Ruth says, thumbs up, Ruth, thank you very much. Aziz also say, freedom is not taken by handshake, it is taken by bass boss. Okay, and Olula say, it's real. If rally happens this year, I will give Koiki, £100. Wow. Okay. Yomi, we have to miss you.
£100. Let's just wait all the time. So we have more than enough £100 in our bank account.
Yes. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. It's a platform where we put our heads together. That's where we say we jaw to make sure the way forward for us all, so that we can improve our lives. I mean, we here have improved our life. What about those at home? We'll be there standing. We'll be here still fighting for them. Okay. Yes, it is Starr Radio UK. Yemi, before you go,
stay tuned more, as I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.
Bye. All right then, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 12 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. That was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. We're going to take a break, a quick commercial break, and then I'll bring you a tune. And then we will continue with the show. As I said, at 12 o'clock, I'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussions. If you want so, you can add your voice, call in, put the numbers across, you call in and make your takes heard. All right then, and then we'll continue with some of the other stories making the rounds until 12:30 when we go to Cyprus, where we have HRH Linda Pallien also joining us. But let's take this commercial break.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Something from Solomon Lange. Joy to the world. Some Christmas tune there for you, putting you in the festive mood as well.
the deserts of the Sahara, to the coastal forests of the Atlantic, and into the nation's central hinterland. Peace shall reign. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. For he is the King of Peace.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Merry Christmas, Africa.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All over the land. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. All over Nigeria. Let the jubilate, oh, let the jubilate, we celebrate, oh, celebrate, the jubilate, oh.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Ruth says you are working for Nigeria. Well, okay. I think it's in response to Oluola. Okay. I hope that you managed to sort that out. All right then. It is Starr Radio UK. So now let's move on. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Okay, my producers say that I should just announce the line and they just hop on. Yes, if you want to join in the conversation, you want me to hear your voice. Yes, it is 0208-133-2257 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. Now, for those of you in the US, the Caribbean area, in Canada as well, it is 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. And then you can text or WhatsApp us. You can text or WhatsApp us. The number is 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. So once again, welcome to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then. You can Skype as well. Our Skype ID is Starr Radio UK 1. Starr Radio UK 1. You can get that and then get in touch with us and let your voice be heard or let your thoughts be known. All right then. So now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds across the globe. Yes, this time around on the African continent as well, where it is all unraveling there as well. Now, Biden is to reboot ties with Africa during the U.S. Africa Leadership Summit. Now, the question is, why that summit? Now, they see what Russia was trying to do. They see what the Chinese are doing as well. And Americans think that it's about time they now try to shake themselves up and make sure that their influence is still going on the African continent. Knowing at this time that we are in is a very tough time, what is the Americans ready to put across, or what are they preparing to take from Africa as well? Well, listeners, Starr Radio, African leaders are meeting this week in the United States of America for the annual U.S. African Summit. The summit brings together several African leaders, organizations, and top U.S. government officials. The Biden 3-day summit, that is from the 13th to the 15th of December, will feature announcements of new U.S. investment and highlights food security worsened by the invasion of Ukraine. The summit will also focus on values such as democracy, good governance, as well as fighting climate change. Now, one key topic will be the fate of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, the 2000 deal that granted duty-free access to the U.S. market for more products from sub-Saharan nation that meets standards on rights and democracy. The pact expires in 2025, leading African leaders to seek a clarity at a time that the United States has soared on trade deals. The United States had invited all African Union members in good standing, and with which Washington has full relation. Now, leaders from South Africa, Egypt, DR Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Tunisia, and other African countries are expected to attend the summit. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So going on. Now, bodies of 27 suspected Ethiopian migrants have been found along a road in Zambia. Now, Zambian police have discovered the bodies of 27 of suspected Ethiopian migrants dead from hunger and exhaustion in a northern district of the capital, Lusaka. The victims are all men aged between 20 and 38. The police said in a statement on Sunday that the bodies were taken to the morgue for identification and autopsy. An investigation has been opened. The alert was given at dawn around 4 hours GMT by residents who discovered the bodies. Now, once on the spot, the police found a person still alive and panting among the bodies thrown along a road. She was rushed to the hospital. All 27 probably died of starvation and exhaustion, the police have said. Zambia is a transit point for East African migrants wishing to illegally travel to South Africa, the most industrialized African country that acts as a magnet for the poorest people on the rest of the continent. In October, the remains of 30 suspected Ethiopian migrants were found in a neighboring Malawi. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Back in the days, in the Bible as well, there was hunger that came. And then, you remember the good old Abraham? Yeah, he had to travel to Egypt, and then remember Joseph's time as well, that has been captured in the Bible as well. Well, they are doing all that stuff. So when the economy shrinks or there's difficulty, then people move to a place where there is abundance or things seem to be better off than where they, or greener pastures than where they are coming from. So that's what has taken place there. But sad one there. Okay. Now, when it comes to Ramaphosa's fate, now, last week we did talk about that as well. The ongoing political fiasco pitting South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa over corruption allegations and had elicited mixed reactions among the locals in the country. The resident of the Nomzamo settlement in Soweto outside Johannesburg are optimistic about Ramaphosa's presidency after a recent installation of electricity in the area. The Ramaphosa is a good man because of what he said to us at this community of Mozambo about electricity. Yes, now we have electricity, yes, but it takes a long time to have electricity because ESCOM, that's Ed South African Electricity Public Utility, but at least we have, said Nomazibuko Midzela, a part-time cook at the local school. Some residents of Soweto are blaming the ruling African National Congress for the frequent corruption in the country and unfulfilled pledges. But if you listen to what happens in South Africa, you're looking at the deplorable state of the black communities. Do you think the leadership has done well, or in a default position is the leadership skewed to favor the minority? What do you think? We'll have to know what you are really thinking there. Okay, so it is Starr Radio UK. Now we're going to move on straight to some other stories making the this is a troubling story that is coming up from DR Congo. Now citing my apologies. Now citing in a small courtyard in Goma, it's in DR Congo, a 55-year-old Tutsi woman joked darkly that she will be killed in a spoke under her real name. She fled to the city last week after a militia leader known as General Janvier, an opponent of the Tutsi-led M23 rebel group, arrived in her town of Kichanga. Now, we saw children with machetes and guns saying they come to kill the Tutsis, said a woman in a poor Goma neighborhood of clapboard houses on the Rwandan border. The M23 has advanced across North Kivu province in recent weeks, winning victories over the army as well as other militias and forcing hundreds of thousands to flee in its wake. Well, I hope that we're not going to be sitting down once again for a massacre to take place. Well, it's all Starr Radio, okay? 4 minutes past the top of the hour at the time, the morning show, the program. But Tshisekedi is saying, that is the president of DRC, is saying that, is vowing to hold elections, denounces Rwanda's expansionist intentions. Now, he says, Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi denounced on Saturday expansionist tendencies of Rwanda, which he again accused of supporting the M23 rebellion that has seized large swaths of territory in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo in recent months. The year 2022 has witnessed the resurgence of Rwanda's expansionist impulses under the guise of M23, the head of state said during his State of the Nation address to the two houses of parliament meeting in Congress. Now, DRC is the victim of an unequivocal aggression by Rwanda, he insisted. For nearly 30 years, the Congolese East has been plagued by violence due to the presence of numerous armed groups in the almost total indifference of the international community, said Mr. Tshisekedi. The M23 is a former Tutsi-dominated rebellion that took up arms late last year and conquered large swaths of territory north of Goma, the provincial capital of North Kivu. Now, since the DRC has accused its Rwandan neighbor of supporting the M23, a claim made by UN experts and publicly stated by the US and the Belgian diplomats, but Kigali denies the let me take it again. Kigali denies this, accusing Kinshasa of collusion with the FDLR, a Hutu movement formed by some of the perpetrators of the 1994 Tutsi genocide in Rwanda. I'm going to be seeing another genocide there, because another people organizing themselves to fight against people who have wronged them in the past. Two wrongs never makes a right, and that's why at times we have to take the peaceful means to resolve some of these issues that goes on in our parts of the world. But this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, just bear with me. Let's take a quick break and I will bring you some stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Okay, welcome back to the program. 9 minutes past the top of the hour, the time, the morning show. I've got another 20 minutes to bring you some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe before we take you to Cyprus or bring the program to a close at 12:30. So stay tuned, don't you go away. But now, let me quickly bring you some of the stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. Well, Togbe Afedi, who is the Agbomefia Paramount Chief of Asogli, has described the government promise of no haircuts in the ongoing debt exchange program as a mockery. Now, Togbe Afedi, the 16th. Is it no? Okay, let me take it again. In my Roman numerals, I'm getting it wrong today. Togbe Afedi, the 14th. Okay, said the opposition is currently happening, or the opposite is currently happening. According to him, a reduction in the promised coupon simply means a haircut. In a 14-page opinion piece, the venerable chief lamented about the impact of the situation. He questioned how a country blessed with so many resources could be mismanaged into this state. In course of that situation, we are now faced with questions about debt sustainability and our ability to find the physical space to fund urgent and critical development needs. Now, the fears about Ghana defaulting on its debt repayment have effectively materialized with the announcement of domestic debt exchange program, and we are making a mockery of ourselves, talking no haircuts when there is exactly when that is exactly the effect of reduction in promised coupon payments, he said. Now, following the country's worrying debt stock and interest payments, the government has announced a domestic debt exchange program. And it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. The program, which was announced by the Finance Minister Kenneth Riata on Sunday, December 4, is aimed at realigning some domestic bonds. This, when achieved, will give the government physical space ahead of the bailout package from the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Riata, in a subsequent presser on Monday, said the government was inviting holders of domestic debt to voluntarily exchange approximately 137 billion Ghana cedis of the domestic notes and bonds of the Republic, including USLA Archie bonds for a package of new bonds to be issued by the Republic. The domestic debt exchange program, which is a government initiative, seeks to classify domestic bonds into 4 categories to create physical space as part of the preparation to qualify Ghana for an IMF facility. The minister also promised that there will be no haircuts on principles, but the venerable chief disagrees with that. But what do you think? Is a haircut going on? You know, interestingly, Toby Afedi, he has got no hair. He shaved his bald. Okay, he shaved it sakura. That's how that's the terminology that we use. So somebody will say, well, he's saying that look, you've cut my hair already. My hair is already low. So what are you talking about? No haircut. He says it's already happening. Okay then. What do you think about all that? Those are stories making the rounds in Ghana as well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, and 16 people are also being wanted over violent clashes at the NDC National Youth Organizer and Women's. Okay, we're going to be, it's one of the stories developing. We'll be bringing you more on it during the course of the week as well. Well, a few more there. We have Toby Afedi, who has also alleged that the funding for the unproductive National Cathedral project should be suspended. And somebody will say, why is he talking about that? That is something that the president decided he's going to do. But do you think that when the president is out of office, anything result will happen there? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay. Let's move on from there. Variety must go. I am not aware of any meeting with Akufo-Addo. The NPP MP has said. It's one of the stories also making the rounds there. All right then. Before we move on to other parts of the world, Alhaji Banda accuses MPP of neglect after undergoing leg amputation. It's one of the stories that is making the rounds, where last week some pictures of him were being circulated. But well, he's accusing the ruling government of abandoning him. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, just bear with me. Now, 2 people allegedly sustained gunshot wounds at NDC Congress. It's one of the stories making the rounds, and therefore John Buedu of the MPP is saying that what is happening in the NDC is worrying. Why is it worrying? And NDC Youth Women election halted after some confusion also took place there as well. Everybody is trying to fight to make sure that they are not cheated out of that election that was going on. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now let's move on straight to the final segment of the morning show today. Well, as I said, our HRH Linda Pallien sent information in that we might have to cut off the discussions for today. That, yes, next week, God willing, a pre-recorded one will be coming your way once again. Well, Iran has executed a second person. Majid Reza Ranavad has been executed over the protest that has been taking place a few days now. He says that he's the second person to be executed. Iran says it has carried out a second execution linked to the anti-government protests engulfing the country. Now, Majid Reza Ranavad was hanged in public early on Monday in the city of Mashhad. The judiciary has announced a court convicted him of the charge of enmity against God. Well, why didn't you allow God to send his angels to come and punish him? But you decided to do so. Well, after finding he had stabbed to death 2 members of paramilitary Basij resistance force. Human rights groups have warned that protesters are being sentenced to death after sham trials with no due process. Ranavad was sentenced to death based on coerced confession after a grossly unfair process and a show trial. The crime must be met with the serious consequences of the Islamic Republic, tweeted Mahmoud Amiri Mogadam, director of the Norway-based Iran Human Rights. Now, thousands of detained protesters and a dozen death sentence already has been issued. There is serious risk of mass execution of protesters, and that will actually deter people from protesting, because if you know that you protest and your life will be taken, then what do you do? Okay, Daramora has posted another statement there. Let me read it on the Facebook. Say, to my opinion, I don't think there is any hope in the zoo country called Nigeria, and the main problem is that Yorubas, if I may say, I hope I'm gonna be alive by the time we get a nation and we overcome against the bad Yoruba leaders. Now, God bless Yoruba's land. God bless Africans. No going back. Okay, Daramola, thank you very much for that statement there as well. And that's why I've said that when there's disjointed front, then you're going to be having a problem. So you come together, decide on the path, and move on with it. And again, I also say that if it is a cause that you believe in, convicted about it, just go on with it. You know, you might not realize whatever you want to realize, but posterity will be the judge of that. What do you think? Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 19 minutes past 12 the time. Got about 11 minutes to round up the program. So let me quickly go through some of the other stories making the round this morning. So if you are living in Iran and you were involved in the protests, now what do you think is going to be happening there? My goodness. Now, very, very worrisome EU corruption charges. Well, arrests over allegedly corruption at the European Parliament are very, very worrisome. The EU foreign policy chief Joseph Borrell has said, and Irish Foreign Affairs Minister Simon Coveney said the charges against 4 people were very damaging. Among the arrested was European Parliament Vice President Eva Kalili, believed to be one of those charged. Prosecutors suspected a Gulf state, reportedly Qatar, tried to influence Parliament by donating money or gifts. Now, Qatar has denied misconduct. Belgian police seized cash worth about 600,000 euros. And in 16 searches in Brussels on Friday, computers and mobile phones were also taken to examine their content. Now, 4 people have been charged, while two have been released. The prosecutors said on Sunday no suspects have been publicly named, but Miss Kylie is understood to be among those who have been indicted. So what's happening there? Corruption in EU. Whoa, that's a big one. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, a final story from the South American part of the world. An airport in Peru has been closed and 2 people have been killed in violent protests. Authorities have said. Pictures on social media show smoke billowing from the Dallas airport in the south of the country. Now, 50 police officers and workers were surrounded by demonstrators at the airport, the Transport Ministry said in a statement. Now, protests over the impeachment of President Pedro Castillo have continued in the capital, Lima. Now, police fired tear gas on Sunday to disperse demonstrators in the city. The Peru's aviation body, COPAC, part of the Ministry of Transport, said the Huaylas airport had been seriously affected since Saturday afternoon, experiencing attacks, vandalism, and fire being started. He said 50 airport workers and police officers had been surrendered in the airport terminal, and added that some people had taken them hostage. But what do you think about all that? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But we're going to be tittering towards the end of the program, so please just bear with me. Well, some of the stories making the rounds here in the UK. Millions are experiencing travel disruption as snow blankets the country. Well, and then a sad story. 3 children die in icy lake tragedy. Now, 3 boys aged between 8, 10 and 11 have died after falling into an icy lake near Solihull on Sunday. Information that was coming through was that during the course of the day or the afternoon, when the emergency call was made, the rescuers came through to see how best to rescue them. However, 3 have been declared dead, but their names or their identities has not been put across. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, in the blast that occurred on Saturday, the emergency services and specialist team are continuing to search a recovery operation after a huge explosion at a block of flats in Jersey. Now, Jersey police said at least 5 people were known to have died, with at least 4 still missing. They do not expect to find survivors. The explosion happened at a 3-story Hot Dumont residential block on Saturday at about 04 hours. Now, a minute silence was held at 11 o'clock today. The government of Jersey said flags will be flown at half-mast until sunset on Friday, the 23rd of December. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, there is an emergency Cobra meeting taking place. The government is to discuss contingency plans for upcoming strikes, including using the military and civil servants to cover border force staff at an emergency Cobra meeting later. The armed forces will also be deployed to hospitals thrust ahead of an ambulance strike, the government says, but industrial action is still expected to cause major disruption. Now, Cobra is an emergency response committee made of ministers, civil servants, and others. It comes amid a wave of strikes over pay this month from nurses, paramedics, rail workers, and border force staff. The Cabinet Office Minister Oliver Dowden, who will chair the meeting on Monday, has urged unions to call off the damaging strikes. The stance the unions have taken will cause disruption for millions of hard-working people over the coming weeks. But well, would you meet them and negotiate? Would you negotiate with them? Look at the inflation rate, look at the interest rate, look at everything. They think that whatever they are making is not enough. Now that the weather is like cold, yesterday it was so cold. Today, after the snow, is much better. When it snows, when it's cold and it snows, then the weather becomes much better. It's not that cold like before. So maybe, but I know for sure that people would have turned their heaters on full blast. If not, what do you do? Well. Starr Radio UK. This is where I bring the program to close. We're going to be taking a tune from Lionel Ajimai, and it is one Christmas tune there as well. It says, "Oh Holy Night." When that song ends and you didn't hear from me, then it's been me, Archie, and I promise you next week Monday we'll be bringing you HRH Linda Pallien on Career 101. Have a lovely afternoon and see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
This is Starr Radio UK.
The world and say the near pining to hear peace, and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices beyond break a new and glorious morn.
This is Starr Radio UK. Econ.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
The end of voice. Oh, night. When Christ was born. Oh, night. Divine. Oh, night. What a night to find. Yeah. Truly, He taught us to love one another. His word was love, and His message was peace. Change how He prayed for the slaves